Hey everybody, this is Bruce Johnson with Deep South Sauce Company. I'm out here cooking on Blue Rhino Razor, and we're going to do Deep South's version of a Cuban sandwich. So traditionally, a Cuban has roasted pork, ham, Swiss cheese, pickles, and yellow mustard on Cuban bread. So we're going to take all that and modify it just a little bit today. So the other day when I was smoking some pork, I marinated one in a mojo seasoning. I really like the mojo, has those citrus tones, the garlic, the onion, the cumin, etc. And smoked it with a simple salt, pepper, garlic, onion rub, little smoked paprika in there just to give it some color. Wrapped it after I smoked it, and now I just got to heat it back up. Now when I heat it back up on our razor, I'm going to do something just a little different. Still got the bone in this one. Get around the bone. I'm going to heat this up on the razor with a little bit of water under a dome with some of our Havana heat. That Havana heat has that mango habanero in it, so it's really going to add another level of flavor and complexity into the meat. So I'm just going to put it on here. I've already set up our Blue Rhino razor with kind of a warmer to cooler zone. We're medium to hot heat over here. It's already hot. I'm just going to go ahead and throw these on there to start warming them up. Pulled this out of the refrigerator a little while ago. Get some pork going. Just going to sear it off just a little bit, get a little texture to it, although it really has that good texture from the smoker. I didn't quite smoke this all the way like you would perhaps for pulled pork, because I wanted it to stay together just a little bit more. So I actually pulled it off about 192 before it got too loose. So I'm going to add a little bit of water so it steams, and I'm going to take our Havana heat and pour that on there, cover it, and just let it sit and steam and warm up. Now, you've noticed I have these presses here. These are cast iron presses. They have some weight, right? This has now become a plancha. So it's a griddle top that I've heated up, but it's going to become a plancha. Cuban bread is pressed, right? So I've just wrapped them in aluminum foil. That's just to help me keep it cleaner. I've had them sitting on here while this was heating up, so the cast iron's hot too. So I have that hot press to go on it. So got the pork warming up. What else do we need? Well, we need our Cuban bread. Cuban bread's different from Italian or French bread in that it uses a palmetto leaf when it rises, right, and gets ready. So that's what makes it Cuban versus Italian or French. Now, instead of the traditional yellow mustard, I'm using our Deep South Sauce Company True Gold. It is a mustard base, but it also has balsamic vinegar in it. So in combination with the mojo spices, the Havana heat in this, we're really elevating any backyard meal, any tailgate, to just that next level, right? We're making it just that much more. Now, traditionally, I'm told that a Cuban sandwich has 3 pickles, only 3. I'm not sure why that is. Someone told me that once, that's what makes it distinct. I think it has a lot to do with superstition and things like that, maybe with luck, but 3 pickles. Then we come in with Swiss cheese. I'm just building that sandwich while my pork is heating up. Now, the origins of a Cuban sandwich, you know, are going to be varied depending on who you talk to. Some say it came from Miami, some say Tampa. I'm using what they call the Tampa version today, right? So it does have our pork, ham. But what makes the Tampa version different is the Italian influence of the Cubans as the cigar industry, the tobacco and cigar industry, came up out of the Caribbean through Miami and up into Tampa. There was a Spanish and Italian influence up there that they started adding Genoa salami, right? So that's the Tampa version of the Cuban, where they'll tell you it originated not necessarily from Cuba, but it is still made by Cubans just in the Tampa area. So we have our Genoa salami. Now I'm going to just put some ham on here as well. Now what you may not have noticed is I grabbed the tops. I'm actually building this sandwich upside down so that when I flip it later, the pickles will be on top. Now while we're going to let this thing just kind of heat up and toast off, I got a real surprise to go with this thing to kind of accentuate our Cuban sandwich here. I'm just going to go ahead and place this on the griddle. Take a look at our pork. Looks like it's gotten moist and warmed up. Now I'm just going to layer our pork in here. All right, so I got pork, ham, Genoa salami, Swiss mustard on Cuban bread, right? So I want to kind of keep your portions together, all right? And it's upside down at the moment. So I'm going to put the bottoms on it. Now I'm going to take my cast iron press and I'm going to press it in. Press it in. I'm going to move these to the side a little bit. Make room for my next project. And I'm just going to put that one on top of it just to add some more weight. If you wanted to take a brick, wrap in aluminum foil to use that instead, maybe a cast iron pot, just get some weight on there to really add to the press, and that'll help you out. Now, special treat. I have some pineapple here that I came off, cut up a pineapple, put a skewer in it, and I've been soaking it in brown sugar bourbon. Now you're like, bourbon and pineapple? Normally I hear more cinnamon. Well, the brown sugar bourbon has, not only does it have sugar in it, brown sugar, but it's got some cinnamon and vanilla flavors in it, which I think really add to the flavoring here. So I'm going to put this on my board. A little brown sugar and cinnamon mix. Put it on there. Help give it some flavor and caramelize on the flat top. So I have a little dessert to go with my Cuban sandwich. So I'm just going to place these on the flat top and start getting the sear. All right, so Cuban sandwiches, where did they really originate from? Already talked about how Tampa, Miami, they kind of have a controversy about who really created it, but it's called Cuban, so why didn't it come from Cuba? Well, it sort of did. In the Caribbean, about 500 years ago, the indigenous Indians down there had a sandwich like the Cuban, except it had more cracker-like bread and used fish and birds, but it was something that they could eat and take with them and eat in the field when they were, it's a very agricultural community. And as in the 1800s, when the Cuban cigar tobacco leaf industry kind of moved into the Keys, moved into Miami, and then pushed on into Tampa, they needed a quick, inexpensive, easy sandwich that they could use. And the Spanish and Italian influences brought in pork and ham. And so they used the pork and ham instead of the fish and chicken. And then, of course, the bread instead of that cracker-like substance that the original Cubans used. So that's where you have really the foundations are in Tampa with the Italian influence with the Genoa salami. But Miami is who really made the Cuban sandwich famous, right? They just made it famous from the small town community in Tampa into Miami and all the hustle and bustle there. So I'm just going to take a quick look at our sandwich. See how it's looking. Flip it over. Getting that nice press on it. A little pork jump out on me. I'm just going to press it back. Keep that weight on it. See how just give us a little more gas. Caramelize those sugars. Since I have a little time, I'm going to go ahead and make a few more I really do enjoy these pineapple skewers. They're great for summer, great for the kids, although maybe not with the bourbon, but the alcohol does cook out. There we go. You could also do this, you could just buy the pineapple rings in the fruit section of the grocery store. I would suggest, though, not getting canned. The can's got too much syrup and stuff in it. Doesn't absorb the flavorings quite as well. All right, so we're going on our Blue Rhino here. I tell you, one of the things that I really enjoy, being part of the pro teams and doing barbecue competitions all the time. I had the big smokers. Our cooks are low and slow, 14 plus hours. And sometimes when I'm at home in the backyard, it's really nice to do something that's really quick and easy. I can take leftovers out here. My kids love hibachi, so I'm kind of an amateur hibachi chef, really mess up more than I do it successfully. But it's great for stir fries, things like that. Breakfast, I can't tell you how good bacon fried on this thing is. It fries up so much better than anything I've ever done in the house or even in the oven or on the smoker. Bacon, eggs, pancakes. You just can't match the versatility of one of these griddles. All right. Continue looking and flipping these around. I'm just going to go ahead and take this pork off over here, get it out of our way. That'll be my nibbly snacks later. All right, and I think our sandwich is warmed through enough that we could go ahead and take a look at it and cut it. So I'm just going to bring it over to my board. Now, certainly you could just pick it up and eat it like that. If you are hungry enough, this is probably enough to feed several people. A couple of ideas you could do, if you're serving this for a meal, I would cut it at an angle in here and just come through. You can hear the crunch of that bread. Just come through and there you go. We have two sandwiches, right? Look at the pork, the ham, the salami, the pickle, the Swiss cheese. So that's certainly one style. And then if you were doing something that was more of a tailgate, more for an appetizer kind of a thing, you could just come in here and just do it in little thin slices like this that someone could just pick up and it becomes a finger food. Now, if you had more people to serve, you could come in with some toothpicks and even cut this in half again. But this makes a great past sandwich, past hors d'oeuvre, tailgate. You could be a hero in your own backyard. And while I have an extra one here, let me just check on my pineapple. Go ahead and put a couple of these over here. All right, let's see how I did. Now remember, I did that pork in the mojo, marinated in that mojo, put the Havana heat on there. It's got that mango, that habanero. I'm expecting to hit it with a little sweet and then come in the back of my throat with some heat. And then just the brightness and brininess with the pickle, and then the True Gold mustard with that balsamic vinegar. Mmm. Oh yeah. And don't forget the crunch of that bread. Oh yeah, there's the sweet. And the heat's coming on in the back. Sorry, I'm gonna have to go in for another bite. Mmm. Really did enjoy that. And then for a nice, easy, handheld dessert, it's sweet. It's got the acid with the pineapple, cinnamon, and brown sugar. It's warm through. That brown sugar bourbon really does something special. just as a regular drink, but making desserts with it like this really does a lot. Thanks for joining us where we cooked our Deep South Tampa Cuban on our Blue Rhino razor that you can get at Lowe's online. They'll deliver it right to your door. What could be easier than that? We hope you join us next time where we'll also be cooking up something good.